This is part two in the video series of women talking too much. I may end up doing the third one, but just in case, just take it as this may be the last. But what I wanted to talk about is women who talk about their past too much. They just be talking, running their mouths, just busting those rubber lips and telling men all kind of business about their past history that they really don't need to share. Now, this video is kind of a challenge for me to make because it's nothing that I can relate to personally. I don't tell men shit. And even if they ask me, I just look at them because, I have the right to weigh whether I think that their question is something that's going to be intrusive, that may come back to bite me in the ass later, or that it may be something that will help the relationship. But I am the sole one who decides that, not them. However, for many of you ladies, I don't want to say most because I don't really know everybody's situation. I can only go by the thousands and thousands of advice letters that I've gotten over the years, where women they have this urge, just like this psychotic desire that they just must manifest the blabbery and talk about stuff that they really should not be talking about to men. And like I said, it's hard for me to kind of relate because I don't stay in the past at all. I mean, I reflect on it when I'm doing these videos and pull out little things that I think will be helpful to you guys. But as far as me sitting around just, ruminating over my life experiences and mistakes I made and people I miss and all of those shit, I don't do that. Because when I'm done with your ass, you're dead to me. It's like you never existed. And like some women really have this issue where they want to keep in touch with exes, right? They send them Christmas cards and they be, chatting and IMing and texting and all this old stuff. And my thing is, I don't want to hear from you unless you calling to tell me that you are terminal and that you're going to be dying in the next 10 minutes. Then I would like to hear from you so I can laugh in your face. But, not months, not, weeks, days. No, honey, we are down to minutes. Don't call me unless your doctor's standing there, the priest is there, and I'm your last phone call, and you say, Deb, I'm dying. I can say, good, fuck you, and then it's a wrap. Okay, that's how I am. I don't care. I don't want to talk about your mama. I'm not going to check up on your sisters and your raggedy ass, tacky ass, jailbird brother. Nobody in your family, nobody in your friends. I don't want to see none of them. And so, like I said, it's very difficult for me to conceptualize why people do that. Why do you want to hang on to the past and feel that all over again? So what I wanted to do was kind of go over some of the things that I could think of without going searching through my vast archives of published questions and answers. These are some of the things that came off the top of my head. I'm sure there'll be plenty that you can think of to add to this list. But let's talk about some of the issues that come up and some of the points that I think are important for women to consider blabbing about. Because it's like, you dating some dude, right? Well, you're going to give him all this personal information about yourself, and then y'all break up 6 months later. It's not like you married to the motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's not like he's invested in you in any sort. He just Mr. Right Now. He's just somebody that you kicking it with, dating, whatever. There's no guarantee that man's going to be around even next week. So I really don't understand this desire to pour their heart and soul and every single aspect of their existence into these men's ears. But let's talk about some of these things. You big mouth people, you ladies, you just be talking too much. You need to stop doing that. One of the number one things that women do is they want to talk about their exes. Now, a lot of you are still friends with your exes. Like I said, you don't want to call yourself being, quote, friends. So you stay in touch. You want to see what's going on with them and stuff and all this old stuff. But how do you think the new dude feels about that? Now, if you're married and, this was like your college boyfriend or something rolling through town with his wife and, everybody gets together for a dinner or something, he might be amenable to that situation. But the usual situation is you guys, you're friends with him and your husband don't have nothing to do with it and his wife don't have nothing to do with it. It's just the two of you. it becomes kind of an issue. I'm a firm believer that you should not never mix the past with the present. That's just how I do things. I keep very clear boundaries and keep everybody from the past in the past where they belong. I don't bring them into my present, and they definitely not going to be part of my future. So this again is not an issue that I have personally, but it's one that I see a lot. It causes a lot of insecurity and jealousy, whether it's the man, being friends with an ex-girlfriend, or the woman being friends with an ex-boyfriend. Unless you have children together where you have to co-parent, so you will have to talk to each other and have to show up at parent-teacher meetings and have to show up at graduations and weddings and stuff like that as a child grows up, there really be no reason for you to stay in contact with your exes under any circumstances. And a lot of women, still do that. Others, you want to talk about the men that you were with prior and the sex that you had with them. Why do you do that? And I know some of you are going to say, well, he asked me. I don't give a fuck. He could ask you, send a telegram, smoke signal. I really don't care how you got the message that he wanted to know. What you're supposed to do is tell him that's none of his damn business. Of course, you don't have to say it in that way. You could say, well, honey, why do you know? Well, you need to know that. Or, I'd rather focus on the present and the now. Or some kind of, whatever little bullshit ass answer you want to give him. Me, I just go straight with it. It's like, I say none of your goddamn business, nigga. Don't be asking me stupid ass questions. And then, that's it. It's done. 3 seconds later, he knows better than to ask me some shit like that. But that's a question that comes up a lot. And see, when you guys, you start talking, you have to understand, especially if you're young and you spill any beans about anything that you did with that dude that this guy might want to do, he's going to be competing against the memory of this other dude, right? Well, did he do it like this? And even if he doesn't ask you, it's going to be running through his mind. So it's going to affect and impact your relationship. Trust me, you don't want to start going down that path. You do not want to talk about any dicks other than one that you have right now with a man. You just don't want to do that. Unless, of course, we keep going back to that, you were married to him and you have children, with your ex-husband. Then they're more tolerant. But just, some baby daddy type, some dude you were just kicking it with for a few months, whatever, you don't need to talk about them. They just cease to exist. And some other you blab about stuff that you may have done, like when you were really young, like in college or high school, whatever. You want to talk about the experiment you did with two dudes, or with the time you did it with some girl, or something, or some other freaky whatever thing that you did. You want to tell him this stuff, and he'll ask you, well, what's the freakiest thing you ever did? Well, what's this and what about that? Have you ever done it with a girl? And what about that? And so he's going to ask you. He'll ask you sometimes, but what do you have to answer? Or do you have to answer truthfully? My thing is no, fuck the truth. The truth is something that you should take to your grave, because that is your business. The stuff you did before you ever met his face, met him and laid eyes on his face, that's your personal affairs, and he has nothing to do with that. Just like you have nothing to do with his. Wherever he fucked, wherever he did it, whatever country, couch, sofa, floor, wall, hotel, whatever happened before you two met, that's none of each other's. That's your separate business. So I apply this rule to men as well as women. It's not just women. I don't think people need to be asking about all that kind of stuff. But the problem though is with the sexual double standards that we have in our society. Men are going to get rounds of applause for all the stuff that they did, and women are going to be labeled bitches, hoes, sluts, and all this other stuff. So what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is you can't, even if you do that stuff, you can't be coming along with your new dude and telling him all that stuff like that. It's just going to make the relationship bad. He's going to feel insecure, and it's going to cause a whole bunch of drama. And typically what they do is start bringing it up, right? So something happens. So maybe he wants some booty and you say no. Well, you didn't have no problem doing all that shit with so-and-so. That's how they do. It comes up. So don't even set yourself up like that. Another thing that y'all want to do, oh my God, and this one used to drive me crazy. I call it the be honest crowd. Okay, so you dealing with a dude, right? Y'all break up for a couple of weeks to a couple of months, and eventually get back together. Well, here come the letters to my advice column, and I've got so many of these over the years. It's just like Oh, just unbelievable. Okay, now they back together. Well, I want to tell him about the guys that I saw while we were broken up. And so then their general response is because they want to be, quote, be honest. Okay, what are you being honest about? When all that happened, you were a single woman. He was not with you. So, being honest comes into play if you're in a situation where you were cheating and now you want to fess up and try to get your relationship back on track. Okay, then you would tell it. But in a situation where you were broken up, whether you broke it off or he did, somebody didn't want to be there. Somebody didn't want the relationship anymore. So once that happens, it's a free for all. His dick is a free for all, your pussy's a free for all, and it's like whatever you want to do with it, that's your business. When you get back together, it's assumed on both sides that you were dating somebody else, kicking it, sex, and whatever. It's already assumed. So even if it's not true, it's still assumed anyway. But so you don't need to bring that up, especially you don't need to volunteer it, providing names and how long you saw him and all that stuff. You don't give out people's names like that. What is wrong with you? Some of these dudes are not wrapped too tight and they'll be going looking for the dude so they can shoot him or something. Keep your mouth closed. You don't put people in danger like that. I'm telling you, some of these dudes are nutty. I just read a thing online yesterday and put it on my page. I have a page on Facebook called This is Blackistan, and it talks about, we post things of a criminal nature, or, social issues which affect African Americans usually in these kind of inner city neighborhoods. And it's just horrible. This guy the woman broke up with him and got married to somebody else. And he got out of jail from attacking her and went straight to her house and killed her new husband and her because he was jealous. So, stuff like that. I mean, just imagine the boyfriend's getting stalked. You can't be telling people's names like that. Some of you will go and volunteer information like, how many abortions you had or how many pregnancies you had and how many miscarriages you had. Why? Why would you do that? Why is that his business? How is that history going to improve the relationship that you're in right now? Somebody explain that to me, because I'm still not getting that after all these years. I still don't understand what the benefit is for you to reveal that kind of information to the new dude. It's nothing about that is going to hurt him if you keep your mouth shut. See, that's the part, and that's why you don't tell your bitch ass girlfriends either. Those people be like a week pregnant talking about, oh yeah, I told everybody I was pregnant. Then you decide you're gonna terminate it, and then so now you got to tell everybody that you got an abortion. So I mean, keep your mouth closed sometimes. Stop talking so goddamn much. Just be telling every goddamn thing. It drives me crazy. Some of you, you want to do stuff. You want to talk about the bad relationships you had, all mistakes you made in your relationships and stuff like that. Now, like I said, if you're married and this guy is so completely opposite to those people that you can kind of reflect on it with him maybe a few times, and this where he comes up on top. If you like to do that, fine. I would never do that, and definitely would not recommend doing that in a dating situation, because you don't really know. You're just, the dating process is the discovery process. So if you reveal this kind of information and you don't really know this guy that well yet, you have no idea how he's going to take what you're telling him and how he's going to use that information possibly against you. So I would be very, very careful about revealing those kind of details that could come back and bite you in the ass later. I would also caution you to not get too blabby about things like, say you were a dancer for a while, years and years ago. Why would he need to know that? I mean, how is that you revealing that? How is that helping your relationship? To talk about some shit that happened 20 years ago. 15 years ago, 10 years, whatever it was. It could have been 10 weeks ago. It's still in the past before you met him. Why do you need to talk about that? So these are the kind of things, these along with sometimes people want to talk about their struggles with, mental illness, emotional problems they had, how they got, had financial issues, whatever it is. Really think about, is this really important information for him to have right now? Like, say you just got, you just recovered from cancer or something, or you have epilepsy, that he might have to deal with a seizure, something along those lines. Well, yeah, you probably would want to warn him about that. But if it's just basic stuff, like you went through depression or something, and after your parent died, or you were jobless for a while, you got a little depressed, whatever. I mean, those are the kind of things that you don't really have to reveal in the dating process. Again, those are things for long-term committed relationships where you are married. Don't be telling all this shit to these niggas that you just kicking it with. And I know you be like, oh, that's my man. No, he's not. If there's no ring on your finger and there's no license filed at the courthouse, he's not yours. He just Mr. Right Now. Look at the divorce rate. I mean, even then, it's like it's not really yours. It's just like on loan, or he's a lease. So, this danger, there's a lot of danger in that blabbing about the past. One thing that I really don't like about it is when you are constantly talking about the past, you're thinking about the past, and that's keeping you mentally stuck in the past. So see, there's no room in your head to think about what you're going to do, like for what's happening right now, and how you're going to turn what's happening right now into something productive, positive, and growth oriented in the future. You can't have those thoughts in there while you're going over these old files and old pictures in your mind from your past. You can't do both at the same time. So I advocate that you leave the past in the past where it belongs, because there's nothing you can do about the past. You can't change it. You can't modify it. You can't improve it. There's nothing that can be done with that. So leave that there and focus on what you're doing right now, and how you can make your future better based on what you're doing right now. So that's where I would be with it. Let me look at my scribbled up notes here. I don't know. I just, one of the things I think that I see this a lot online in these black women empowerment groups, and that's why I don't participate in them anymore. There was, I don't know, to me, empowerment means something different than evidently what it meant to them. And so, I mean, I wasn't going to make a huge thing about it. I just, click the button that says leave group and go on with my life. But I think this is something that I see a lot. A lot of them are stuck on this colorism thing, right? It's stuck in the past. They had some hurts from childhood or whatever, being teased and taunted, feeling rejected by men because of their skin color or whatever. And I'm not saying that their hurts are not valid. I'm not saying that at all. So before somebody want to jump stupid and have me cuss them out, don't even come at me like that, because I don't feel like it. What I'm saying is, as an adult, it is your responsibility to fix yourself. So if you got all this residual resentment from some shit that happened to you as a teenager in college or whatever, and you now in your 30s and 40s, get your ass to a psychiatrist and handle your business. You know what I mean? It's like you shouldn't be online whining for the last 3 or 4 years. It's because that's what I've been seeing for some of these women about your past like that, and going on and on about how black men don't want you. Yet you say in the women's empowerment that you don't really care about black men. You've moved on from black men. Yet every other fucking post they make is about black men and how they don't want them, or how they want white women, or how they want foreign women. I mean, it's like all this focus on the same black men that they say they don't want. So see, I'm like seeing this cognitive dissonance here, and it was making me crazy, so I had to leave that alone. But it's the same thing when you start thinking about your past. It brings back, psychically the same feelings, the same reactions in your body. You're going to feel the same emotional and mental pain. You're going to feel the same resentment, the same embarrassment, the same humiliation, the same anger, the same guilt, the same grief. I mean, over and over and over and over and over every time you reflect and focus on those past incidents. And so I'm like, it's like you intentionally torturing yourself. You have to learn to leave the past behind you and move forward. My dad used to say, you can only look one direction at a time. And I was like, what is he talking about? So he was like, well, either you looking behind you or you looking ahead. If you're looking ahead, you can run. If you're looking behind you, you're gonna stumble and fall because you can't see. You can't see where you're going. And if you get up and you actually do the movements, you get to see what he was talking about. So I was like, okay, well, that cured me of that. I mean, I was like 8, 9 years old. He told me that shit, and I was like, wow, alrighty then. And so, I just learned to leave the past where it belongs and behind me. But if you know, try to do what you can to start establishing some very clear boundaries between the past and the present. Really watch what you let get into your head. Watch what men say to you, and don't let them pull you back into the past in any way, especially if those past memories are hurtful for you. Don't let them do that to you. And on your own, stop thinking about that shit. You're gonna get stuck in the past. It's a lot of people use that as their excuse for not dealing with what's going on right now, and so you lose opportunities because you're not looking for them. You're looking at behind you. You're not looking for what's coming and what you could grab and what successes you could achieve and all the goals that you could reach. You have to look forward and stop looking behind you and focusing on shit that you cannot change. In closing, just take this with you. Don't let yesterday take up too much of today. That is the motto that I have over my desk, and it's something that I live by. Right? Don't let yesterday take up too much of today. Just a little bit, what you can improve on maybe. But other than that, leave it alone, and let's move forward. We got big things to do, girls. Okay. I'll talk to you guys soon. I might be able to do another video tomorrow. I'm not real sure, but I'll see what I can do. Talk to you guys soon. Deb Cooper from Surviving Dating, signing out.